Hello, I'm Liz, one of Derry's reference librarians, and welcome to another episode of Misinformation Busters. Once a week, we tackle a rumor or false/misunderstood information and try to separate fact from fiction. And this week, we're talking about masks again, because sometimes misinformation doesn't go away, it only mutates. So, what's the story? Well, when we first discussed masks, there was still some misunderstanding about why we were wearing them. Ultimately, it came down to we were/are wearing them to protect others rather than ourselves. My mask protects you, your mask protects me. But in the age of social media, misunderstanding can still persist and disinformation can spread quickly. There's been a rise of mask exemption cards that you can supposedly present and be able to enter a store without a mask. There are now posts from people purporting to be OSHA experts and medical professionals claiming that masks are dangerous and unhealthy because they affect your intake of oxygen. These posts have spread, and in some circles, the narrative has even morphed into health professionals and public officials actually know this is unhealthy, and that the mask wearing is a larger conspiracy to subjugate and harm the public. In fact, recent public forums across the country, people have come up and accused public officials of treason, having false health credentials, or being part of an evil plot involving 5G, Bill Gates, and the Clintons. So, what are the facts? Let's start with the mask exemption card. Those are not real. First of all, the ADA does not give out cards. The Department of Justice, which is in charge of enforcing the ADA, which stands for the Americans with Disabilities Act, not an organization, they would be giving out the cards. So that's your first clue. Second, some of these cards come from the Freedom to Breathe Agency, which is not a real government agency. It's also worth noting that if you go to a store that requires masks and tell them you can't wear one, all you're going to be met with is alternatives to help you shop. Pre-ordering, someone shopping for you, curbside pickup. These stores only ask unmasked people to leave when they become belligerent and abusive to the staff. Speaking of freedom to breathe, let's tackle masks and breathing. The OSHA post, which is a post by someone claiming to be OSHA 10 and 30 certified, states that masks violate OSHA regulations and can actually cause brain damage due to lack of oxygen. This has quickly gone viral on Facebook. But the official OSHA page actually recommends masks for workers right now. It does say that, depending on the environment, certain masks may not be good for certain workers, but they offer alternatives and still overall recommend some kind of face covering to slow the spread of COVID. OSHA's oxygen regulations apply to the tight-fitting masks, not the looser ones like surgical masks. Also, according to OSHA, the 10 and 30 certification does not actually cover COVID topics, so this is a good lesson that just because someone says they are certified doesn't mean they are an expert on a certain topic. Back to oxygen. The most common face covering right now is a cloth mask or surgical one, which they both fit loosely and they allow for airflow. They just keep large droplets in. And this is where critical thinking and skepticism comes in handy. There are doctors, dentists, surgeons who all wear these masks for long periods of time and have been for years. If there was a problem, we would have seen a lot more instances of surgeons passing out if this were true. There's actually been research about this for that very reason, and this is why the masks are the way they are. So they can be worn for a long period of time without a detrimental effect. Okay, well, I sweat sometimes when I wear a mask, but that's really minor. Also, back to my original video, doctors, dentists, surgeons, they don't wear masks to keep your crud away from them. They wear the mask to keep their crud in and away from you. Another piece of misinformation is that the masks weaken your immune system, which is just not true. No research supports the idea that wearing a mask will weaken your immune system and make you more vulnerable to the coronavirus. First of all, as we said, it's just keeping larger droplets from spreading rather than shielding ourselves from anything. Second, we are surrounded by bacteria and other microbes both inside and outside of our house. So don't worry, your immune system can get a workout just going for a walk. Finally, as for the "this is an evil plot, your government is trying to institute tyranny," well, diseases happen, pandemics happen, and right now everyone is trying to figure out how to keep life as normal as possible while slowing the spread of a disease that we don't even have a vaccine for yet. Mask wearing is actually normal in democracies like Japan and has become more common in other democratic countries. Guess what? New Zealand has not yet to become a dictatorship. And as for the weird satanic plot between Bill Gates, the Clintons, and 5G, well, I hope that by saying that out loud, we all hear how outlandish it sounds. But maybe it's a good future episode. Bottom line, evidence shows that commonly used masks like surgical and cloth masks are safe, and if used correctly, they're helpful in slowing the spread of COVID. Even Tom Hanks, who survived COVID, is telling people to wear their masks. Come on, people, don't make Tom Hanks angry. Thank you for watching, and as always, look for sources in the comments. And if you want to do some research, you can use our EBSCO databases available through the library's website. See you next week.